Hey, how you doing, guys? I got a question from a viewer, and this has to do with raw video. And let's go ahead and see the question now. This comes from Cruise Visuals. Now, this is in response to my AVCHD or MP4 video. And this is what he says. Hello, sir. Thank you for the very good explanation video. I'm a complete beginner in cameras, so I got a question, well, for you. Is there a way to get a raw format video? If yes, how to achieve it? Thank you a lot. So we're going to look at different ways perhaps you can achieve this. Hopefully I can explain it well. I'm not always the best explainer. Okay, I guess you say. I'm just kind of joking there. And so I actually got my show notes just so I won't forget anything. There are typically a couple of different ways you can do it. For example, you have HDMI out, you can, or SDI HD out. You can use a capture card and get kind of like a raw video into a capture card, which is normally a computer, or perhaps even a ProRes recorder, one of which I have as well. But that kind of gets you tethered to additional equipment or even to the studio to do this. Another way you can do this is raw format from the camera itself that outputs it in raw video. Of course, there's going to be usually a higher cost to the camera and perhaps the support equipment. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Now, a raw format video is going to usually give you the most flexibility in post if you're going to do color correction, color grading, and possibly even visual effects. Now, if you don't do like doing post-production color correction and grading and all that, then you probably don't need raw video. There is a huge downside to this as well. You could possibly have, well, before we get to that, the downsides, there are some cameras that do raw video. Off the top of my head, I think Blackmagic cameras, their 1080p version, 4K versions, and so on. The biggest downside to, and I'm talking raw, that actually output in raw format, one of the biggest downsides is it's going to have huge file sizes you're going to have to download. And you're going to need a pretty good computer, PC computer, to handle the bandwidth of the raw video. And in even some cases, you may need even a RAID system to be able to handle such a high bandwidth in many cases. I think if for a beginner, there are better alternatives. And before you want to go into a camera that really does output in raw format, for example, there are some DSLR style cameras. You can, if you're, that's which way you're going to go. Some people even use a Canon T2i, 3i, or 6i, whatever it is now, to shoot video, which is perfectly fine. And or even other cameras, choose a picture profile that is flat or neutral as possible, and sometimes even called neutral style. Now, if you choose something that's EOS standard, it's going to be highly saturated and sharpened, and it's kind of baked in, which is, if you're going to do a lot of color correction grading, that's not what you want, because then you kind of have to take that out. So you want something flat as possible, or even some cameras are capable of log, such as S-Log or C-Log, or there's several others out there. Now, if you do choose even a Canon DSLR to shoot video, you can also download something called from Technicolor called CineStyle, which gives you a very flat style picture profile, is what you want, I guess. Another thing you have to think about is codecs as well. And of course, in response to my video, comparing MP4 to AVCHD, obviously. So MP4 is usually going to be in the lower scale as far as quality, which is typically H.264. Then usually AVCHD is the next step up, and then MOV, and then there are even some pro codexes such as MXF, and there's several others. Even if you go to a Red Camera Raw, obviously that's going to be top of the line. But of course, for most beginners, that's going to be way over what they want to pay for. And I definitely wouldn't tell a beginner to go purchase a Red camera, obviously. So, there's some information for you. Hopefully that helps you out. Do your research. I mean, before you go and pay money for this, decide what's best for you, and of course, post back to me if you want more information. Hopefully, I can point you in the right direction. Besides that, thanks for watching, and for those comments, you guys have some excellent comments, and see you guys later.